Let's go back to the august House of Parliament, and well, we've heard the Speaker say a number of things, but before I even get into that, there is this bit about some of you members of the NDC and also lawyers who have been hauled before the General Legal Counsel. Some of you, by the Chief Justice. Prominently, we have Dr. Dominic Ayine, former Deputy Attorney General, and who was cited for some contempt even in the course of the election petition. He apologized and all of that. Even you have been cited, among others. There's Aziz Bamba, who was also on the election petition.
Yes.
I think.
Dr. Aziz Bamba.
There's another, Abraham Amaliba has also been cited.
Yes.
Among others. Do you feel that there's anything improper about this entire thing? Do you feel members of your party are being unfairly targeted by the judiciary? And you are a legislator.
Yet, I want to be guarded here because...
I guess everyone is being guarded, very guarded these days.
Yes, because I'm in the center of one of the storms. So, but to be fair, I'll be the last to say things to dissuade another from complaining if there's an injury to his reputation or professional conduct and all. I'll be the last person. Now, the issue about hauling lawyers or complaining about or petitioning against lawyers before the General Legal Counsel is not a new thing at all.
No, it isn't.
It's not a new thing at all. So we want to set that record too straight. But the focus of your question is in respect of the upsurge against particularly lawyers aligned with the NDC. In my case...
And I'm saying this as well because even the bit I was talking about, the Speaker, he talks about the relationship between
the legislature
body
and the judiciary. Yes.
And so obviously it comes into the picture.
Yes. Now, in my case, before I come to Dr. Ayine's matter, I was called by your station to react to a publication by Ghana Web that Justice Wunta Wuni, who was then handling the Canada-Japan contempt matter, had been transferred summarily to Ho, and a new judge will take over the matter. So I asked, when was this publication? They said, oh, it's on Ghana Web. It's all over. So I should react as a member of the Judiciary Committee of Parliament. So my reactions were quite brief. I said, well, if this is true, then it doesn't augur well for the independence of the judiciary, particularly when we talk about the independence of the judiciary, or a threat to the independence of the judiciary, or interference with the independence of the judiciary. There are external interference, then there are internal interference. And that I hope that, so briefly, then a couple of days later, my attention was drawn to the fact that the Ghana Web itself has come back to apologize to the Chief Justice, that the story they put out was incorrect. They didn't have good basis. So, ipso facto, by that very fact, I also put out an apology.
Okay.
But
on what medium did you put out this apology?
I used my Facebook wall.
Okay.
So, but somehow the CJ says that what the comments I made affected him. So,
are they comments you regret making?
Oh, to the extent that the publication turned out to be false, I apologize. But if the publication of the fact of what they allege were correct,
true, you would stick
then
to what
I'll stick to it.
Yeah.
Because it's only the CJ that has the power to transfer a judge. And if a judge was sitting on such a topical matter, and for no apparent reasons he's taken out of the region to go and preside over the same court, even though in another region, then it creates suspicions of interference with the work of the judge.
Okay. For the sake of brevity, now let's stretch it to involve all the others. And we have, like I mentioned, some of your colleagues who
Yes.
were on the election.
Yes, I'm going there straight.
Let's get to that.
Now, so to petition the General Legal Counsel alleging misconduct on the part of a lawyer, it's also laid down in law. So the conduct must have a basis, must have been provided for in the LI. It used to be LI 613. We amended it last year, improved it, and it's now LI 2423. That's Legal Profession, Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules 2020. In that law, which is here, what Dr. Ayini, for instance, is alleged to have done, have combed the law. There's no provision that says that when a lawyer comments on a judgment by a court of law, he commits a misconduct. However harsh the commentary is, however unpalatable the commentary is, however however highfalutin sounding words you use, it cannot. There's no basis.
But you see, the question is.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
There's no basis to proceed to the General Legal Counsel on this law to allege misconduct.
Are you suggesting it is wrong in any way for the Chief Justice to do what he has done by referring this to the General Legal?
Yes, because there is no basis in this document, this law.
So it is wrong.
So no, so it has no basis, it has no foundation. In fact, you know, the judges also have a code of conduct for judges and magistrates. And as part of the code of conduct, it is clearly stated that as a judge, you must be open to criticism of your work, however harsh it is.
Do you feel the justices, or specifically the Chief Justice, is becoming opposed to criticism?
I think he's becoming too sensitive to criticism.
The CJ is becoming too sensitive?
Yes, that's in my opinion. I think he's paying too much attention to, criticism. But criticism is supposed to be taken in your stride, unless the person attacks your integrity. Look, sometime in 2003 or so, when the current president was Attorney General, and a decision was made by the Supreme Court, he was on TV. He described the judgment of the court as perverse. Perverse. Look up the meaning of the word perverse. Nothing happened. The judges took it in their stride. It came from a sitting Attorney General of the Republic.
So let's just clarify this very quickly. Two matters. First of all, Dr. Ayine, in the course of the court proceedings, he had to apologize profusely for some of the comments he had made and all of that. On what basis then? Because these are similar comments made.
I'll distinguish it. The provision,
very briefly.
There's a provision here that says that where a lawyer who is an advocate in a matter pending before a court, you commit a misconduct if you make public comments. You understand? Openly. So at the time, he was part of the legal team.
Right.
The matter was before the court. So if he said to have said certain things that were contemptuous of the court, I find a basis in the law. Okay. And so, you see, the court didn't even proceed to petition General Legal Counsel, which was what they could have done.
So once the court case died,
once judgment is entered, the court itself becomes functus. Functus means they are done. They've washed off their hands.
And so any comments can be passed?
So in law, in the legal profession and in legal scholarship, they have the obligation to subject the judgment to scrutiny.
Okay.
You praise the courts where they sift innovative legal principles. You also criticize the courts, or you condemn the court, or you say that the court fell into error of law or error of legal reasoning, or the court they were erroneous.
So in a nutshell, nothing wrong with what Dr. Ayine did?
So far, I've checked the law. There's nothing wrong.
Finally, just quickly.
Because the matter has been determined.
Okay, very quickly on your issue.
Yes.
How are you approaching it? I mean, what action you're going to take?
There's been a hearing has commenced, I have filed my response, so there's been, we've been there once. So I'm in the hands of the council.
You're in the hands of the council.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it in the case of Francis Xavier Sosu, who lost his license to practice for quite a while. I think 3 years initially, but that span didn't run out before his.
What he did was he appealed against the decision of the council.
That is the point.
And he succeeded. So
if it got to that point and your license were revoked, would you go through a similar process? Would you be looking to?
No, it may not. The council, the disciplinary body doesn't always withhold license.
But I'm saying if it got to that point, what would you do?
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
All right. My very final bit to you. Parliament has been in focus because the Speaker has been, talking about the fact that the way MPs are served, especially when criminal cases or whatever are involved, is a bit problematic. In fact, in today's Daily Graphic, he talks about one of your members of parliament from your side who recently was cited. And he also cites Article 117 of the 1992 Constitution. There's also the bit about your immunity not being absolute. In a minute, what is your quick take on that? Do you feel you as members of parliament have been mistreated so far? And what do you make of this entire bit? That's our final.
Yeah, it's not only members of parliament who are immune from courts, have been granted immunity. Even judges, when they are juristic in the performance of their juristic duties, you can't sue a judge for performing his duties. So, by parity of reasoning, MPs are also immune from legal proceedings when they're in the belly of the house, when they are arguing, whatever they say in this chamber, it's not actionable. Now, we have never, as members of parliament, for instance, me, I've never assumed that the privileges that we are supposedly granted is absolute. Never. At all. So there are circumstances under which you are supposed to serve a member of parliament if it's involved in a court matter or their legal processes. Just follow it. I think it's as simple as that. There's a procedure. Let's follow the procedure.
Let's just follow it.
Let's just follow procedure.
Well, case don't die. It's always refreshing to have you come by. Thank you once more for doing us the honors. But
it's my pleasure.
Up next, we're going to be talking about the sanitation situation, the rain situation, especially in this month of June. I went by Old Fadama along the drain, and it's quite a spectacle there. You'll get the details shortly live on television. But before you let go of us, what is your take on that? Old Fadama, what used to be called Sodom and Gomorrah. When was the last time you passed through?
That was the last year. It used to be a very popular place because we used to live at Lagos town and we used to play football there. And it's a nightmare now. It's
hellish being
there. Even driving, to try to drive either to or through Sodom and Gomorrah is, like you said, is hellish. To me, it's nightmarish because it's become a slum mixed up with petty trading in a lot of things, especially copra oil from the western region. There's a base that they...
Is there a way we can resolve that situation?
There has to be an executive decision by the government to move in and tidy the place up.
Executive decision.
Executive decision.
Thank you very much. Roxanne Nelson Dafeamekpor is a member of parliament for South Adai, and he has joined us for this conversation. Thank you for staying with us. And as we proceed...
May I make a small public appeal?
Go ahead.
I'm appealing to the regional director of highways. The road between Chame to the government hospital in Peki, it's so horrible. You have complained so much about other roads in Peki, but my focus is on the hospital road. I don't have the resources to even fill the potholes with bitumen. I'm pleading with them to at least single that one out and rehabilitate it for us. It is only 650 meters from the main East Corridor Road to the hospital gate. They should do just that for us, so that when patients rush from other facilities in the district and from other districts. Peking Government Hospital is the only hospital between Akosombo and Amfoigan District Hospital, a distance of about 50 kilometers. So all the medical issues along the Eastern Corridor line goes to Peking Government Hospital.
Wow.
So if the road leading to the hospital, 650 meters, is in a horrible shape, you get a patient comfortably to the junction. By the time you rush the person to the hospital gate, we may be in crisis.
And so that's a personal plea.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much once more for joining the conversation.
I'm grateful for giving me the time to do this.
Well, it serves a good purpose.
Thank you.
And for those of you who are joining us, well, we shall actually be bringing you more on that sanitation bit as I took a walk along the drain. That comes up next on the AM show. Thank you for staying. Do enjoy.